It is week number 2 here in the 300 at Transit Lanes in Williamsville, New York. It is Storm Beat the Champ presented by BowlersMart. Here's the lineup for today. Our returning champion, Andrew Kopec, will face one of these challengers, Connor Nowak, Noah Burgio, or Nolan Caswell. Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Williamsville, New York. I'm Paul Peck with Buffalo Bowling Hall of Famer Sue Nawojski. Last week, with the challenging non-house shot that is on these lanes behind us, we saw the guys have their ups and downs. Who's been best able to figure out, and what was the key to that?
Well, the key is going to be experience. There's just no replacement for experience. I mean, the tougher shot, let alone the mental ability that goes into analyzing the condition, making a shot when you have to make a shot. You have to have seen it before to be comfortable with it.
All right, well, speaking of experience and speaking of seeing it before, here comes Andrew Kopec for the 6th straight week we are seeing him on the show. How much has some of your experience at the PBA level, at the Rochester Masters level, at the Junior Gold Medal helps get you that experience to do what Sue is saying you better do?
Yeah, I mean, I was very fortunate to get involved early on in junior bowling with the Junior Golds, the YBTs in the area that help give a lot of junior bowlers the experience. And I encourage all junior bowlers that are watching to get involved with them. It's been, the places you go and the people you meet are fantastic, and it's a great way to introduce yourself into the sport.
Well, we've got some younger bowlers on our show today who would like nothing more than to get rid of this guy who is going for his 3rd win in a row. We're going to find out how it's all going to play out. It is Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart. Let's get rolling. You're watching Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart on YouTube.
Like and subscribe to our channel now. Don't miss any of the action.
Beat the Champ is sponsored by Storm, the Bowlers Company. By BowlersMart, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. By Latina Boulevard Foods, your favorite family in food distribution. And by Go Bowling. For friends and family fun, log on to gobowlingnewyork.com to find a center near you. And here we go with Nolan Caswell against Noah Burgio. And Noah, at 16 years old, is believed to be the youngest, matter of fact, not believed to be, he is the youngest bowler we have had in our 2 seasons of Beat the Champ. We've had some 17-year-olds, but never a 16-year-old junior in high school, but a rising star in the Buffalo area with a good crowd section on hand. And here's Nolan Caswell, who we have seen on our show before. He's making his 3rd appearance. Last time we saw him was a couple months ago at Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes. He is 31 years old from Lackawanna, New York. First shot for Nolan is a strike. Scoring and stats today are powered by Alton's Restaurant, the finest in casual dining. And after the strike in the first frame, it'll be a spare opportunity for Nolan Caswell. Has yet to win here on our show in his previous 2 appearances. As I mentioned, one at Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes this year, and then one back in season 1 at the Town Edge Bowling Center. Oh, spun that a little to the left and misses, so an open in the second frame for Nolan Caswell.
Yeah, that's always trouble. You don't, on these conditions, one of the most important things is that you make your spares, because they're generally not going to be that high scoring. So making your spares is one of the things you can do.
As you already heard, we got a big cheering section on hand for Noah Burgio. 16 years old, a high school junior from Tonawanda, New York.
And our first lefty, he got that one in a little bit. You could see at the bottom of his swing that he kind of jerked it at the bottom, and it went right on him. I got to imagine there's a few nerves. I mean, he did make a show when he was 7, but that was a long time ago.
I was going to say, he has been on TV before. He made a television show when he was 7 years old. So it's not the first time Noah has been on TV, but it's his first appearance here on this show in this setting against a different level of competition, obviously. Now, all that said, Noah has been competing at a high level, and not all that long ago.
Good shot there.
Took part in the Buffalo area high school championships, finished 6th, and qualified for the state tournament. So that's all happened for him, and I'm sure has helped prepare him for this event as his dad Joe looks on.
That's right. I bowled with his dad Joe. Known him a very long time, and he's Noah's coach, and certainly has a lot of knowledge and has helped Noah get to this place in his career.
Noah knew it right away as he spun quickly around and didn't even see the miss. So we've got both guys with opens here early on. Both open with a strike, and then things haven't been quite as good since then.
It's really important, I'm going to say it again, to take your time on those spares. And his feet got a little fast and it got away from him. But sometimes you're still thinking about that shot where you think, you made that good shot and you should have struck, and you kind of don't focus on that spare as much as you should.
So these are synthetic lanes here in the 300 at Transit Lanes, but as we've already alluded to, the oil pattern is a non-house shot. Tell everybody a little bit about the challenge that these guys are trying to figure out.
I mean, yeah, it's very different from your typical house shot where you've got that large puddle of oil in the middle. This is a 5.25 to 1 ratio compared to a house shot would be more like a 12 to 1. And that just means that it's a flatter pattern and you don't have all that hold to your left or all that, free hook to your right. So it's more about shot making, more about controlling, your break point, which is all, pretty high level stuff here in this game. So we talk about experience, and there's just no duplication for having seen this before, because you won't get that panic when the ball doesn't do what you expect it to do. And then, being able to repeat shots is super important. Yeah,
and there'd be a little visual of what Sue's talking about with the oil pattern and the ratio. And for what it's worth, in our first show last week, the winning scores were 202, 237, and 226.
Which were pretty impressive, considering you're talking about making really good shots. And that 39 feet is relatively short. So you tend to see some urethane early on this shot. Now it's been, worked out a little bit. There's been some carry down. So just a challenge. And again, we talked about experience in the beginning of the show. There's just no replacement for it when it comes to these tougher conditions.
And I think the thing we learned from the first show was the experience comes into play when things they come off the rails a little bit, which almost everybody in that first show had a moment where things happened that they didn't expect or certainly didn't want to happen. How you deal with that and bounce back from it was the difference in show number 1.
Right. I mean, we saw a couple gutter balls, which, normally you associate gutter balls with people with no experience, but that's not true, and you have to take it in stride when you're playing the gutter like that, which they started out playing. That, you might drop one in the gutter here and there, and you just got to take it in stride. Again, he got a little yank on the bottom of it the second time on this right lane that, he's kind of grabbed it at the bottom. He is using urethane, the idea behind it, to tame down those back ends, but he is the first lefty that we've had on the show. So his condition is untouched. So he is playing a super fresh condition, which would explain using the urethane to try to tame down that back end.
Bowles on that high school team in Kenmore, New York, as we talked to you about. Still hasn't graduated high school yet.
He's
so
16, right?
Yeah, got
barely
another,
drives
got
a car.
another year, right? So, almost on the 7-pin there.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, is already competing at state levels, and we talked about high school championships, and, you know, he's already gone beyond just being a local league guy.
The next time he's up, we're going to take a look at that backswing. He really has a beautiful game. Look at that. Perfectly straight, high backswing. No mistake on that one.
He's grown a little bit from the last time we saw him on TV when he was 7 years old.
I'll say.
Yeah. Lackawanna, New York is the location of the hometown for Noah Caswell. 227 average in the 2 leagues that he bowls in. 7 career 300s, a high 830 series. Bowled at Hamburg High School back in his high school days. And has performed well at a couple of high-level tournaments, including the Obenauer Masters here in Buffalo and the Auburn Masters, and that's helped Nolan sort of take that next step into competitive bowling. Fifth frame for Nolan Caswell, and he'll have a little work left to do.
Yeah, so he's got some carry down here on the right side because his ball is not finishing. And he's playing far right. He's playing kind of straight. Ball made his move, but kind of petered out there. 2-4-5 is the leave. We got a little separation there between.
Where do you want to go with this?
Well, there's more room than you think between the 2 and the 5, but no problem.
Okay, wherever Nolan went, that's where you wanted to go. So it's a spare in the 5th frame for Nolan Caswell. We have a Nolan and a Noah in this match,
Yep.
and then we have a Nowak, last name, in our next match, and a Kopec in our final match. So,
And a Peck behind the microphone.
that's right. All right, so Nolan slides over for the 6th frame.
Close match here. He's just got a 1-pin lead.
Didn't really hook much, did it?
No, and I'm sure that's by design to not have that ball take off any of the back end, but they are tightening up. So as the back end tightens up, that's where you're seeing the ball just not make any move in the back end. So he may have to change balls with this going on, because now he's basically had the same leave 2 times in a row. Ball did not finish.
Good spare in the 6th frame for Nolan Caswell. We're halfway through our opening match here in Williamsville, New York at Transit Lanes. More Beat the Champ next.
Presented by BowlersMart.
Plenty of options.
Chamois, jerseys, balls bags, and shoes. The highest quality products you'll find on the market, and here at BowlersMart, we make sure to find the correct access point of any bowler to maximize their benefits from our products and ensure a great experience. Stop by today and let us help you, because at BowlersMart, every bowler matters.
Yeah, bowling. Such a well-oiled machine of mischief for the masses. The Egyptians made bowling the sport of pharaohs, and yet bowling said, no, I am for him, for her, even that guy. Yeah, don't do that. You light the stage for us. You bring the encouragement, and all you ask in return? What's your shoe size? Don't go boring. Go bowling.
Sixth frame now for Noah Burgio, 16 years old. Just recently wrapped up his high school bowling season where he had a high 278 game and a high 729 series while averaging 220 during his high school season. There's a strike. First one since the first frame.
Good adjustment, better shot here on this lane. He went high twice, and he did make an adjustment. It seems like he moved his eyes left, and that was a much better shot.
Well, you said you've had a long relationship with his dad, Joe, and we asked Noah, what's
'cause we're
your
old.
biggest bowling achievement? He said, beating my dad when I was in the 4th grade. I'm sure that didn't go over real well with Joe, did it? 2 in a row for Noah Burgio.
Maybe we got some of those butterflies out. 2 very good shots there.
So, interestingly enough, right, as you can clearly hear, there are a lot of people here cheering Noah on. How do you, as a competitor, in this case Nolan, is it easy to kind of tune all that out, or do you have to work to tune all that out?
No, I think it's more inspiring than it is about tuning it out. One of the best things about competitive bowling, which I'm going to be honest, I don't see as much as I did. Oop, there's your paralyzer. It was the encouragement of everyone else around you. Like, he's surrounded by his teammates. Believe it or not, that is like super, it revs you up. It doesn't like make you more nervous or, you know, where you need to get the sound out. It really is very encouraging and fun. It makes it fun.
Spare for Nolan in the 7th frame. So both of these guys, by the nature of making this show, were among the 81 bowlers that were eligible to qualify for our Beat the Champ Invitational coming up in 2 weeks, which is essentially our season-ending championship playoff show. And they were all eligible, and I'll tell you, you got to tune in 2 weeks from now to find out if either of these guys made that show, where we will dish out a $2,000 first prize and the Healy-Miller Trophy, named after the 2 all-time great previous announcers of Beat the Champ, Chuck Healy and Van Miller. Eighth frame spare for Nolan Caswell. Eighth frame for Noah Burgio. What happened there, Sue?
He got that in again. That's his, 3rd time on this lane that he's left this. So if he gets to see how he got that in. Again at the bottom, he gives it that little, he comes around it just a little bit early, and it sends the ball going right too soon. The good shot he made on this lane, he got it out to the left as opposed to getting it going up the boards, which is trouble.
Oh, and that's an open frame. Noah had a small lead, and we'll see what that will do to it.
I mean, it's pretty even. If Nolan strikes in the next shot, he's up 2. But,
Yep.
We're looking at a pretty even match here. Just pin count is going to make a big difference.
Right. So, unfortunately, the open frame doesn't help that matter. So now he's got to shake that off and focus on frame number 9. Way left on that one. Skirting with, we've seen more skirting with that gutter over the last 2 shows than we have in a long time.
I mean, that's not a commonplace to play when you're talking about, general house conditions. Playing the what we call the lip is not common. So it can make you a little bit tentative when you're that close to the gutter.
All right, so it's back-to-back open frames for Noah Burgio, who had a small lead before that all happened, and now the door is wide open for Nolan Caswell. Looking for his first career Beat the Champ win.
Again, we talk about experience, and Noah's a great little bowler, and he does get to see more competition than maybe most because he is bowling for high school, but he's still only 16 years old. This is just going to help form him down the road. You have to see it and you have to do it before you can, learn to adjust to it. So, hopefully when he watches this, and, it's certainly not over yet, but when he watches the show and sees, some of the couple things that he did, he'll be able to adjust to it and learn from it because he throws it so good. It's got such a nice game. It's really just putting yourself in these situations as much as you can.
All right, the situation now for Nolan is if he can finish strong, he's going to move on. That's a good way to start finishing strong.
And there's, being loose is important here because, when it's tough and you're in a tough situation, you kind of tighten up, but nothing loosens up your swing like your opponent giving you back-to-back opens, so it makes that shot there just a little easier to make.
So Noah looks on with a little bit of a feeling of helplessness, I think, here, because he knows he's lost control of this match and may not have the chance to win it, depending on what Nolan can do here in the 10th.
Right, because then also Nolan posting up a strike in the 9th kind of takes the count part away from it because, the count's going to be for 2 balls now instead of his first shot. So there's really no opportunity to gain pins for Noah if he doesn't strike.
And that's back-to-back strikes for Nolan Caswell. I think the interesting thing about having 16-year-old Noah Burgio on our show is been the bit of the story of this season number 2 on this show. We've had more under 25-year-old bowlers than maybe we expected, and I think it just speaks to the next generation of great bowlers coming our way.
Yeah, he's very disappointed. He's really got to treat this as a learning experience. I mean, you certainly, again, I'm going to say the importance of spare making for the 10th time already, and you can't. It's hard to go out there and miss 3 spares and come up with a win.
Second shot of the 10th frame is another strike, and Nolan Caswell has won match number 1 against Noah Burgio. Caswell and Nowak, match 2 coming your way next. It is match number 2 here on week 2 at Transit Lanes. That's Connor Nowak on the left against our returning champion, or at least the winner of the first match, Nolan Caswell, 205 to 182 over Noah Burgio. And I feel like that's the kind of scores we sort of thought we were going to see based on how tough the conditions are here at Transit Lanes. We've had better scores than that, but I think I said to you last week, I said right around 200 might be good winning scores here.
Absolutely. We've seen a few more, missed spares, a few more open frames than we're used to seeing, and not as many doubles. So, yeah, that's going to bring the scores down.
So the fact that Nolan finished with 4 consecutive strikes has to be a huge boost for him. Even a 205, but ended with 4 straight strikes, has to be a huge boost for him going into this match, and that boost may have just slipped out the side door after that shot.
I'm going to say my interpretation would have been the opposite, and I'm not really surprised by what I've seen here because he went Brooklyn on those shots.
Okay.
So
almost fake confidence a little bit.
He was lucky, and the ball crossed over, and he was lucky to get all 10 down. But what it was showing him was that his ball was starting to hook, and he was going to have to make a move. So in this case, he made a move, and it was too big of a move, and he washed out. So I think those actual strikes confused him more than it helped him because of the way the ball crossed over.
Beat the Champ debut of Connor Nowak. And if you are a regular viewer of this show, the colors and the logo of his shirt will look familiar because he comes from that long line of Lawrence Tech bowlers. Lawrence Tech from Southfield, Michigan. Mike Weber and Tim Doan are former winners here on our show, all former teammates of Connor Nowak at that national championship winning Lawrence Tech.
That's right. And that first shot was an example to you of what would happen if you get the ball in. That's with this pattern, what you're seeing is no hold in the middle, and he got that one going left, and it just kept on going.
So he's got to live up to that legacy of Weber and Doan, who have combined for 5 wins here on Beat the Champ.
And he throws it great. I mean, he'll get it together. That seemed like an extraordinarily nervous shot. And there it is.
So maybe first frame jitters, right? Everybody has those. You're allowed to have those.
And this particular shot is going to magnify whatever mistake you make. It's going to magnify it, which is what happened there, which was the runaway Brooklyn. But there was nothing to hold that ball back once it started going because of the oil is short and sparse.
All right, so I'll be curious to see you to dive in a little deeper on what you just talked about with Nolan, how the strikes that he had at the end of the first match might be a little bit of fake confidence for him here.
Oh, he didn't get confidence from that. I'll tell you that right now. Those
okay,
shots,
so he knew it. He knew that
while
they were strikes, they weren't the right shots.
No, they were Brooklyn strikes, which meant his ball reaction was gone. And very similar to that shot. That shot is pretty close to what was happening on the left lane where the ball was crossing over. That one didn't quite cross over like the other ones did, but those strikes were no strikes that he was looking to get. I mean, he wanted to hit the pocket. He did not want to hit the left side of the pocket. So all it did is throw him off.
All right, so you said he made a move for that first frame that didn't work so well. Did he make another one for that second frame that he wound up rescuing with a spare?
Well, the whole time we've been bowling on these lanes, they've been playing a little bit different. So just because it happens on the left lane doesn't mean you make that same adjustment on the right lane. So I'm going to say no, that they stand on their own, and you have to make adjustments according to the lane you're on, not take the adjustment you make on one lane and go ahead and make it on the other, because that's a great example of not throwing yourself off by doing that, because you have to treat each lane that you're bowling on as its own individual it's its own individual challenge. You can't do one thing on one lane
almost
and then
no correlation from one to the other sometimes.
Right, and you should always do that, regardless of whether you're bowling league or you're bowling tournaments or whatever. You really have to understand the nuances of each lane, because they do have their own nuances.
Good pin action allowed Nolan to be in a position to grab this one pin spare that he does here in the third frame. Connor Nowak is 22 years old, from West Seneca, New York, not far from where we are here in Williamsville, suburb of the Buffalo area. A liquid formulation technician at Thermo Fisher Scientific in the Buffalo area. I feel like afterwards I need to ask Connor exactly what that means. It sounds cool.
What a great adjustment. I mean, that just right there shows you that first shot was nerves. That was a great shot right there. 226
average for Connor Nowak right now, but not bowling any leagues at the current moment. He's got 5 career 300s and a 784 high series. Bowled in high school at West Seneca West High School, and then, of course, as we talked about, Lawrence Tech is where he bowled in college. And that's a third frame spare for Connor Nowak. All new Beat the Champ merchandise is here. From Coolwick, the official apparel provider of Beat the Champ. Check out all of our great designs, including our new official jersey, and get yours today. If Connor goes on a nice run here, we might start selling some Lawrence Tech bowling jerseys around this town. That would be the ultimate Beat the Champ fandom. If you it's like people will wear Josh Allen's college jersey here in Buffalo. Like, if you're a bowler and you're wearing Lawrence Tech jerseys here, that means you're the ultimate fan.
That was such a good shot. Watching shots this good never get old.
Why? What was so good about it?
There was nothing bad about it. I mean, his timing was great. His rotation was great. He got it down the lane, and it picked up exactly where it was supposed to pick up. It was just just a great shot.
Strikes in 2 of the last 3 frames for Connor Nowak. Meanwhile, Nolan Caswell hasn't found it yet here. Open, followed by 2 spares. 4th frame. Still no strikes yet.
So this is not the first time we've seen the shot change for our bowler, right? So he's standing far right. He's playing in the oil, basically trying to just help the ball to the pocket, and it's just not getting there.
Spare for Caswell, 3rd in a row.
So it's very likely he's between balls, and this is an equipment game. This ball right here that he's throwing is just not enough. It's not getting him there, but he switches to the other ball that he has. It's too much. So he's kind of in between balls, so he's in a little bit of jail here. So he's choosing to go with the ball that goes the straightest and just try to help it, but the ball is just not finishing.
If you were with us in last week's show, I made a smart aleck joke to Andrew Kopec about when he said he had 23 balls, and I made a joke about him bringing all of them here. But is that a little bit worth talking about? Like maybe there's a ball that Nolan doesn't have that fits in between 2 of the ones here?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he is looking for something. That ball, that was good right there.
That one, use that one.
He threw it out there to the dry boards, and you know it was running out of steam when it hit the pocket, but it still had enough to carry.
5th frame now for Connor Nowak. Nice strike.
He
so
is lined
again,
up.
to reiterate some of the achievements in the collegiate bowling career of Connor Nowak, won a national championship 2023 at Lawrence Tech. They were the NAIA national champions. He was an NAIA All-American in 2025, and he qualified for the intercollegiate singles championship back in 2023. So kind of running out of room on the bio sheet here for all the cool stuff that Connor Nowak has done in his bowling career.
Yeah,
Just
that's
another
cool.
one of those great young under 25 bowlers from the Buffalo area. 3 in a row. That'll take us to a break. Connor Nowak, is he starting to take control of this match? Come on back and we'll find out.
The Western New York area has long been considered one of the best anywhere for the sport of bowling.
And no matter where you live, we have lanes nearby.
For top competition,
Fun with family and friends,
great food and drink, or just a night out, we got you.
we are
The Bowling Proprietors.
Of Western New York. Stop in and enjoy our sport today.
12X Tech Bowling Supplies is committed to continuing the decades-long tradition of excellence established by the DeSanto family. We are the ultimate destination for customer service, experience, and product variety. We offer an extensive inventory of balls, bags, shoes, and accessories. Our unique fitting and drilling process, combined with our in-house lane, ensures a perfect fit every time. With a range of repair and maintenance services, we can help keep your gear performing at its best. Consult our team today at 1000 Highland Drive in the J. Scuddy South Plaza, conveniently located off of 390 in Henrietta.
We continue match number 2 here in the 300 at Transit Lanes, all part of Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart. That is Nolan Caswell, and he gets set to go for the 6th frame. Winner of this match goes to our championship match, where they will try to end the 2-week run of Andrew Kopec, who has actually won 4 times in the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, Nolan's down 24 here, and Connor has a strike up, so this is an important strike, and he got it.
Yes, 6th frame strike for Nolan Caswell.
So he's opted to go with the more aggressive ball and work with that. And so far, it's worked for him. He's thrown a double.
Back to my comment from earlier when Andrew Kopec told us he had 23 bowling balls. Is that high, or is that about the average number
it's
that
really,
a good high-level bowler is going to own?
It's really easy to get to that because new technology comes out all the time, and you always want to have the newest thing. And great balls just come out all the time, and you see somebody with something new that's come out, and you see how it reacts, and you just go out and drill it up and take something out of your bag and put it in your basement or in your garage, and it's a great ball, but they tend to fall out of favor, right? They get out of your circle of trust.
On average, how many balls would you bring to a tournament sort of setting like this, as that's a tough break for Nolan, and he's going to miss the spare and get it open in the 7th?
Well, a good example is that when you go to nationals, you can't have more than 8 balls.
Oh, there
so
you go.
you really learn how to tone your equipment down that you carry 8 balls. Now, if you've got your car, maybe you'll bring 8 and keep a bag in the car, 8 or 9. Keep it in the car and run out if you happen to need it, but you definitely don't want to go over 10. That's just way too confusing. But you normally bring in about 6.
Oh, boy. Tough one in the 7th frame here for Connor Nowak, as we see our first 7-10 split of the day.
It was not a bad shot. It just, just controlling the back ends, and ball ran out of steam a little bit, but overall he's been great to the pocket.
Let's see what he can do with this one. And he'll get one. So both guys go open in the 7th frame.
It makes it a little less tragic when your opponent just missed a 10 pin. So he's sitting here in the 7th frame up 23 pins.
I'll tell you, I don't, I don't know how it happened naturally or not, but man, the pipeline from Buffalo to Lawrence Tech University in Southfield, Michigan, is a pretty good one, and I know why it happened, because those guys want to go bowl at a really high level place, of which Lawrence Tech is.
I know, but it's really not down the street. Well, he's a West Seneca guy, so
right. Yeah, I mean, that's a good 5-hour ride, depending if you go through Canada or not. So, eighth frame now for Nolan Caswell. Got to fight off his 2nd open of this match. And he'll play for a spare here. Meanwhile, Connor Nowak, his opponent, is starting to strike a little more regularly, and that puts Nolan in a hole that he's got to fight his way out of.
Yeah, no, he kept
close.
that. Well, he kept that going way too long up. That's how tricky these are. I mean, I'm sure he feels like he has no right and he has no left. I mean, that's like the worst bowler's feeling ever, when you can't miss either way. That one just went a little bit long, and it was not going to have enough room to recover.
So the 31-year-old Lackawanna native will try to keep that opponent, Connor Nowak, not showing a whole lot of emotion right now, but it's up to Nolan to make him feel a little more pressure.
It's the best way to be. I mean, he's keeping his emotions in check and just making shots.
He spun a couple up and over the top of the 10 here, and particularly when he needed those strikes.
That was a good shot. There was not a thing wrong with that. Just a ring 10. You can't really make a move off something like that.
I think he knew it as soon as he threw it.
He did.
Could just tell, and now that's another open, and that probably is the clinching moment here.
Well, Connor only needs one mark in in the next 2 frames.
9th frame now for Connor. And he has the same ring 10 situation. You know, it's I keep going back to, you know, what you said. And again, I look at my score sheet and I see Nolan Caswell end his first match with 4 strikes. And normally you'd say, well, that's a nice momentum boost. But as you said, he knew they weren't really pure strikes.
Right.
And it sort of sent him into a little bit of a tailspin of trying to adjust to that and then adjust around it. And it kind of put him in a hole this entire battle here with Nowak.
Well, another challenge of competition is going to be transition, and it's part of every game. It's even a part of league bowling. You just tend to see the same when you bowl league in a certain house. You tend to see the same transition, and you have an idea of what your moves are going to be. Where on something like this, as the lanes change, you've got to adapt along with them. But a normal routine move could take your ball right out of play on these tougher shots, which is what you saw happen to Nolan. I mean, he went from striking to runaway Brooklyn to washout, because that's what happens on these type of conditions.
So Connor Nowak has clinched the victory, his first here on Beat the Champ, which means we've got a championship match. Connor Nowak and Andrew Kopec. It is next. You're watching Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart on YouTube.
Like and subscribe to our channel now. Don't miss any of the action.
This should be a good one. Championship match. Andrew Kopec and Connor Nowak coming off the 205. We've had both winners put 205 scores on the board here. Again, I guess that makes me look smart, because I said to you after the first one, that sounds to be about the right kind of winning score based on the conditions here. And here we go. We've had back-to-back 205s. So Connor Nowak gets his first ever win here on Beat the Champ. Now has a chance to join his college teammates Tim Doan and Mike Weber as weekly champions.
I think you got a chance at a little bit more than 205 in this match. These are two very professional, meticulous, smart bowlers.
This is the 6th straight show that we have seen Andrew Kopec. He has won 4 times in those previous 5 shows. And he starts with a strike. Andrew won 3 times at the ABC Gates Bowl last month. It sort of had that quirky scenario where he won the first 2 weeks, then got to the championship game because he was the returning champion, lost to Bill Swyatt, but then had qualified through the league bowling qualifier for the 4th show, and then wound up coming back and getting his revenge and beating Swyatt. So that's how we've seen him 6 weeks in a row now, even though there was a loss within one of those weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So he is 4-1 in the title matches. So talk about a closer. Andrew Kopec has been a closer.
Yeah, there's that hook spot on the left lane that rears its ugly head sometimes. The left lane has started to hook a little bit more. There's a spot out there, and there's the left turn. That's the spot that Nolan started to hit, where he struck on those Brooklyn shots, but realized that he couldn't stay there.
Second frame spare for Andrew Kopec, and now back to Connor Nowak. So again, just in season 2 here on Beat the Champ, his 2 former college teammates, Michael Weber and Tim Doan, have each won 2 weeks in a row. So I'm sure there's a little ribbing that has gone on to Connor, like, hey, when are you going to do that? First 2 frames, first 2 strikes for the 22-year-old from West Seneca, New York. Does that qualify as one of those perfect shots that you've seen from him already?
Yeah. Yep. He's just got a really nice game.
I think it's kind of fun that we've had this legacy of these guys, and I think Mike Weber's sort of been the ringleader of that. Being a Buffalo guy, as part of a bowling family who's had a lot of success at the younger junior level, and then probably sits around with these guys and says, hey, why don't you guys why don't you come with me? Or in Tim Doan's case, being from Rochester, come on over. They were staying at Mike Weber's house, remember, when they came in to qualify for the show. So credit to Michael Weber for bringing his guys along here to make them be a part of this.
Yep, keeping their expenses down, making it worth their while. Oof, that got out there.
So that's a couple of shots in the first couple frames here that we don't normally see from Andrew Kopec.
Yeah, that got to the gutter way too late. There was no time for that to recover.
27 years old, from Rochester, New York. Operations manager is the occupation for Andrew Kopec. 217 average in the 2 leagues he bowls in right now. And not a fun spare to have to pick up, and he will not do it. So it's an open for Andrew Kopec. Trying to remember how often we've seen Andrew with an open frame. I don't think that's happened very often. And he's going to kind of reset himself and reset the pins after that open frame. Full credit to Andrew's college bowling experience at Cayuga Community College and William Patterson University. Helped prepare him for the bowler that he is now. Bowled in high school at Auburn High School between Rochester and Syracuse. Spin it around the 10, so it'll have to be a spare opportunity in the 4th frame for Andrew.
So he took everything in on this one, got nowhere near that hook spot, and moved in, made a good shot. Just
boy, he had everything going, including that parallel pin, which is usually pretty good for taking that 10 out.
Yeah, he was really just making a guess, and that was a good guess. And just just lost a little bit of momentum going into the pocket, and I'll have to watch that 10 pin on that lane.
All right, so varying starts here for these two guys. Andrew, strike, 2 spares and an open. Connor, 3 strikes through 3 frames.
Yeah, these are 2 real important frames for him right here. He can really put a lot of distance between him and Andrew.
There was that very momentary
saw
hold
it,
your
didn't you?
breath moment about
Yep.
a 7-10 again.
Yep.
Which we've already seen him have to deal with once.
And that 5 is a late fall too. We've seen that quite a few times. Bringing out urethane for a spare.
The very dull ball is the first thing that I notice. That was a little closer than he might have liked it to be. But it's going to be a spare for Connor in the 4th.
And a 32 pin lead.
Well, Connor has to have, at the very least, watched Andrew win last week in our championship match when he knocked out Jeff Tice handily with a 226 to kind of know that this guy is pretty good and I better pounce on my opportunity.
Well, he's got to be happy with his ball reaction because he's got the best ball reaction of anybody out there today.
So we'll take our time out here and come on back and see, are we going to crown a new champion or are we going to crown the same champion for the 3rd week in a row? Come on back to Beat the Champ.
Yeah, bowling. Such a well-oiled machine of mischief for the masses. The Egyptians made bowling the sport of pharaohs, and yet bowling said, no, I am for him, for her, even that guy. Yeah, don't do that. You light the stage for us. You bring the encouragement, and all you ask in return? What's your shoe size? Don't go boring. Go bowling.
12X Tech Bowling Supplies is committed to continuing the decades-long tradition of excellence established by the DeSanto family. We are the ultimate destination for customer service, experience, and product variety. We offer an extensive inventory of balls, bags, shoes, and accessories. Our unique fitting and drilling process, combined with our in-house lane, ensures a perfect fit every time. With a range of repair and maintenance services, we can help keep your gear performing at its best. Consult our team today at 1000 Highland Drive in the J. Scuddy South Plaza, conveniently located off of 390 in Henrietta.
Fifth frame now for Andrew Kopec. Something seems to have slipped away for Andrew.
Yeah, his ball reaction has gone awry, and the last one he got all the way down. You know, he got so far down the lane before it could make a turn, and he 2-8-10'd, and now this one took off on him. So he's kind of in jail.
Back-to-back spares for Andrew in 4 and 5.
It's a tough feeling when your opponent doesn't miss the pocket.
Well, you know, again, Andrew's got just 1 strike up. Connor has 4 in the first 5 frames.
Yeah, and Connor hasn't missed the pocket either, so he hasn't really struggled to get the ball to the pocket. Right now, Andrew's lost the pocket.
Sixth frame now for Connor Nowak, who just watched Andrew Kopec with a strike in the 6th frame. Even though Connor has a good size lead, that's how you build on it.
44 pins, that puts him up.
And the reason I brought up watching Andrew strike in the 6th frame was Connor has to know that this guy's coming. We've seen that out of the outstanding bowling from Andrew Kopec, so. And hey, the only way to do that is just keep striking yourself.
All right, this lane's a little tricky. You have to move in because that hook spot, you have to get away from it. And in this case, you know, ran out of energy.
All right, so is this a tricky spare pickup for Connor?
Yeah, on one of these shots, these multiple pin combinations are never easy. Great cover there.
Or they are, sometimes.
A lot of times these experienced college bowlers will shoot these spares, even the multi-pin spares, with their spare balls and go straight at it, which he did not. He used his ball that hooks to go at it, but oftentimes you'll see them go to their straight balls, and that makes those multiple pins conversions a little bit more difficult.
All right, 7th frame now. Can Andrew Kopec, coming off a strike, start stringing a few of them together to put some pressure? Wobble, wobble, and it won't go down. He needed that too.
He sure did.
Oh, it's bad enough when you need it. It's worse when it does that.
So the ball hit it and bounced off the right side of it and spun it around.
Man. I almost can't believe that didn't go down. Yeah, I think that the clap of the hands and the reaction from Andrew tells you what you need to know there. Our host center for Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart, is Transit Lanes, and you can follow them online at transitlanes.net. They're just one of our many great host centers, and if you want details on how to be a part of Beat the Champ, just stop in at any of our host centers and ask them how you can be on the show, and we might be seeing you here on the lanes for season number 3, which will come your way starting this fall. And of course, we've got 2 more shows, a regular weekly show where one of these guys will come back. And then 2 weeks from today, we've got our Beat the Champ Invitational, our season-ending invitational where we will crown a Season 2 champion and let him hold up that Healy Miller trophy and hand him a nice big $2,000 check.
What a shot.
Another strike for Connor Nowak here in the 8th frame. I see what you mean, as it just, everything about it looks perfect.
Yep. He's got a nice little touch. He has like, I don't know how better to describe it, but he's got a soft touch getting into his break point. And, you know, he's just got a great ball reaction and throws it really good. This is the trickier lane right here, though.
Not so tricky that time. 9th frame strike for the last 5 for Connor Nowak. And again, doing it exactly when he has a big lead and he knows he needs to not let the opponent back in this one. So is there any magic left for Andrew Kopec to make a 7th consecutive show? First guy to ever make 6 shows, other than Sam DeWitt, to make 6 shows in a row.
So he had switched balls away from this danger zone here that he's throwing, and he switched away from it because this ball was doing what it just did, and threw 2 pretty good shots, and now went back to this ball. So that was a little confusing.
9th frame spare for Andrew. Hey, if this is the last time we get a chance to see Andrew before we're done with Season 2, he has come out of nowhere. He had not been on the show at all until last month at the ABC Gates Bowl in Rochester, and then, as we said, swept the first week, won the first 2, lost the 3rd, won the 4th, and won last week, and back here again. Starts off the 10th with a strike. And again, I think this guy is a guy we're going to keep our eyes out because I don't think it's the last time we'll see him on our show.
No, he's been very, very impressive. He hit a guy, though, that has great ball reaction, has the right ball in his hand, and, you know, has the right line. He's pretty hard to beat.
As a competitor that you were and that these guys all are, can you justify that in your own head, or does it still drive you crazy? Right? You know, like... the other guy was just ridiculously good. What am I supposed to do about it?
Respect somebody that came out here, throws it that good, and lines up. You know, like we talked about before, you're going to lose more than you win, and hopefully you take something out of it. And you know, you learn something about your equipment, you learn something about moving, but you certainly have to have nothing but respect for how Connors.
Well, he ends with 3 strikes, and Andrew Kopec with a handshake to Connor Nowak with the 195 on the board, but it won't be enough, and now Connor Nowak gets to bask in the glow of his first Beat the Champ win. That's 3 in a row for him.
And that's going to be our high score here.
So not only does he have those ties to Lawrence Tech, but he's a Buffalo guy from West Seneca, and this has to be a really cool moment for him.
Great finish, 250 game.
Yeah, this is going to be the highest score that we've had in 2 weeks here on this very difficult oil pattern here at Transit Lanes. He had just 2 spares in this entire match. Go down already, will ya? It won't, but it's enough to give Connor Nowak a 254. He's our champion. We'll talk to him next.
Presented by BowlersMart.
Plenty of options.
Chamois, jerseys, balls bags, and shoes. the highest quality products you'll find on the market, and here at BowlersMart, we make sure to find the correct access point of any bowler to maximize their benefits from our products and ensure a great experience. Stop by today and let us help you, because at BowlersMart, every bowler matters.
The Western New York area has long been considered one of the best anywhere for the sport of bowling.
And no matter where you live, we have lanes nearby.
For top competition,
Fun with family and friends.
great food and drink, or just a night out, we got you.
We are
The Bowling Proprietors.
Of Western New York. Stop in and enjoy our sport today.
Beat the Champ is sponsored by Storm, the Bowlers Company. By BowlersMart, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. And by the Bowling Proprietors Association of Western New York. Stop in and enjoy our sport today. Connor Nowak becomes the third Lawrence Tech bowler to stand here as one of our champions. Tell me that your ex-teammates Tim Doan and Mike Weber weren't giving you a little bit of grief to make sure that you wanted to be here.
I mean, it's all friendly competition coming from being teammates with one another, but I mean, it feels pretty good to stand right here with them. So, can't
Sue?
complain.
Yeah, no way, right?
How much does college bowling and the conditions that you've seen prepare you for a shot that might not be your typical house shot, a little tougher?
It definitely helps. I mean, they throw a bunch of different stuff at you in college bowling, and learning different ball reactions and stuff really helps with playing different lane conditions other than just a house shot.
All right, well, we threw a bunch of stuff at you here on these lanes behind me, and you handled it well. Connor Nowak is our winner. We're going to see if he can't do it 2 weeks in a row. He'll be back next week. We hope you are, too. When we see you from here at Transit Lanes in Williamsville, New York, it is Storm, Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart.